girl. How are you?
Here we are, finally. Good Lord.
It's been a day, my friend. It's been a day.
I can't even get you to message me back to make sure you're still alive. You could have
Yeah, I
died
just
on
have
your
so much
birthday.
going. I have so much going on today. It's
So much
birthday's
go.
just another day. It's just
Yeah.
another day.
Let me tell you, this is what he's telling us people that like the podcast. He's too busy to even let me know if we're gonna do it today. You know, every
Yeah.
half hour I'm checking in with a message and no reply, no nothing. I thought he
Well,
died.
no, I'm very. Look. I'm busy. I am. I am the international man of mystery here. So I had a lot going on with work. I missed Nick's basketball game today.
Good,
Only the second game I've ever missed. I
good.
walked in.
You should miss
He's
more of
so
them.
good. Well, I will tell you, I walked in, there was only 50 seconds left, and as I walked in, he missed a free throw, and I'm like, of course he did, but he gets the rebound and hits a three-pointer. I was like, he didn't know I was there yet, because I literally just walked in the door, but the game ended, they lost by 25, it really didn't matter if I was there or not,
No,
so,
it just was
no,
probably
fucking poor.
more peaceful for everyone else that you weren't there. And
Right, well, they all noticed, because they're like, where you been? We missed you. I was like, you missed me, or you just saying that?
they need
You
listen, the game sucks. They need some real
right.
entertainment. That clown in the
Somebody's
fucking
gotta.
the clown in the bleachers
Right,
acting a
right,
fool.
right. Somebody's got to do that. But
Right.
yeah. So yeah, very busy day. And my birthday, I'm not even celebrating it. I worked till 3:30 in the morning. I slept 2.5 hours, and I went right to work today. I'm just getting home. Another long day. What time is it? 9.
It's
It's
10 o'clock.
what time is it here?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. I left my house at 7:30 this morning.
Yeah.
Just getting home, and of course, I don't have time to make dinner, so I ordered myself 2 double cheeseburgers.
Uh,
I'll just keep it simple. Keep it
ordered
simple.
from where?
McDonald's. I'm a gentleman. I'm a gentleman.
I mean, you
That's
ordered.
That's
Did you,
cuisine.
Cuisine? Did
No,
you?
I went.
What do you mean? You DoorDash McDonald's?
No, I picked up Nick from the game. We went to McDonald's.
Oh,
And,
you said you
he
ordered
was
like you.
no, he wanted McDonald's, and while I was there, I said, might as well get myself two.
Mm.
Like a gentleman.
Cuisine, like a
So
gentleman. Yeah.
cuisine, like a gentleman.
Like your sister.
But
These
yeah.
these patties are flatter than your sister's tits.
Exactly. So I did that. Yeah, no celebrating birthdays here. I'm 41 years old. There's really nothing to celebrate at this
No,
point.
it's
So
trust
you
me.
know,
Trust me. 10 years later, 9 years later, and there's nothing to celebrate either.
there's
So
nothing to celebrate. No.
there's nothing
So
to celebrate. Well,
it's like
there's
at work, people are happy,
listen.
happy. I'm like, enough of this happy
This
birthday
is
shit.
right,
If you don't have cake, don't talk to me.
right, or at least a cupcake with a candle sticking out
Something.
of it.
Right. Right.
There has not been a lot to celebrate. We're only halfway through the week of the work
Right.
week here. We're on Tuesday. We're not even at through the hump.
Right.
And there has not been a lot to celebrate.
No.
For first of all, football season's over.
Right.
So
For both of our teams.
well, that's what I'm saying is like if your team is in the playoffs, it's done. Both
Right.
of our teams are done. Both of our teams finally.
Finally.
I mean, my team surprisingly fired a pretty goddamn good head coach that was doing a pretty good job. Shocked. I woke up shocked.
2 winning seasons in a row.
Shocked on Monday. Yeah, and that first season that they were calling at the beginning of the year we were calling historically bad. He made more chicken salad
Right.
out of chicken shit than I've ever seen a guy make. But
Right.
I will say, listen, this is Miami Dolphins for anyone that doesn't know, or if you don't care, just
Right.
fast forward 10 minutes. We're probably going to talk football and college football for 10 minutes here. That this
Yeah.
guy's a winner. This guy's
Right,
he's
I
proven
agree.
he's a good coach, and anyone would be lucky to have him. The problem was,
Right.
the more I'm reading about what's been going on with the Dolphins, the more I'm not mad about this firing. He was refusing
Yeah.
to get along with, his bosses. He was conducting himself poorly in the way he was not communicating with them. And then I'm reading
Right.
that he wasn't a fan of Tua, didn't want to make the pick, was trying to trade for someone else all season. And that's all fine. But if you're stuck with the guy, support the guy. Apparently, from what I'm hearing,
Right.
and this may be a key reason why he got fired, is that, well, the owner and the GM wanted this kid, and this kid's here. It's what you've got. Like, you don't get a choice at this point, you know?
Right.
The ingredients have been bought. Either you eat or you're going to go on hunger strike here. So, apparently, he has been totally cold shouldering the kid and does not communicate at all to the kid unless it's like briefly in a meeting. Now, a kid that's like, you know, confidence is shaking because they're always trying to replace him and he's been injured. And all the talk down here is always like, is he a bust? Is he a bust? And your coach doesn't have your back. When your coach is tied to winning or losing with you is insane. And to not speak to the kid on any level except when he has to in a meeting is insane. And the fact that kid still did as well as he did under that kind of bullshit, I'm really impressed. And here's the other thing, and then we'll get off of it. So the kid's like, what the fuck is this? So he calls someone who can, like, one of his mentors, your boy, Nick Saban. And Nick Saban's like, listen, kid, just roll the punches. Let's, you know, he gave him a pep talk. But I think Nick Saban also picked up the phone and called Stephen Ross.
And was, you know what? I wouldn't doubt it.
And was like,
did. It was like,
this is all stuff I'm hearing. I'm not sure if it's all true, but if it is, fuck this coach. See you later. Go be difficult to get along with somewhere else. You know what I mean? And look, whoever they hire for my team to be the next head coach has to go in knowing that next year, without a question, unless we could somehow seduce Aaron Rodgers to come down here, that Tua is the guy, and you have to fucking accept that. And also, whoever's coming in here also has to understand this is not a rebuild. If you don't start winning right off the fucking bat, you know, your chain's going to get pulled too, because this team's has been built for 3 years to be competing, and you know, so. The only argument I would make is that for a team that went 1-7, that's a terrible start, and that's enough to get you fired as it is. But to then turn around and win 7 games in a row after losing 7 games in a row, the team did not play hard for the owner. They did not play hard for the general manager. They played hard for the coach. So you either need to find the next guy that's going to inspire that, or you know, you need to assemble a better team, because that was a hell of a turnaround, but we shouldn't have had to have that turnaround in the first place. So then I'm sitting here with a proven winner, our coach, getting fired. Like, nationally, we're getting the laughingstock syndrome here, you know, but also the fact that not everyone knows all the details yet. And the more I'm hearing, I'm like, and I'm sitting here looking, and your goddamn Giants were refusing to fire this guy. This Fonzanoon that's like 2 years in a row has just been fucking liquid misery.
Literally, like, he's horrible.
And everyone was assuming he'd be one of the first heads to roll. And after Black Monday, which is what they call football, the day after the season ends for everyone that's not in the playoffs, is usually a day a ton of coaches get fired. For him to have not gotten the axe on Monday was just a huge bag of befuddlement.
Right.
And you did have the GM quit.
Well, the GM retired, which I think
same thing.
The GM last week said he was going to keep the coach. He retired, which I think he was a forced retirement, which caused the moron to get fired today. And now, you know, my dad told me the rumor is, you know, everybody wants Byron Leftwich as a head coach.
I'm not mad.
Which is interesting.
I'm not mad at that choice.
No, I would. He's an offensive guru, I think.
Yeah,
I think he's an offensive guru.
I will go back to what you said, though. I'm not sure that the guy quit because he was done. He knew he didn't want to do this again.
Right.
He wasn't given an option of quit or get fired, because I don't think so. Everyone would say, well, then fire me, because by firing, if you quit, you're giving up the rest of your contract. If you get fired on those levels, on those executive levels, that's just guaranteed.
Right.
Why would he?
Yeah.
Why would he choose to not earn another, $4 to $10 million or whatever hell an exec makes? If he didn't, really, really, really want to go, if he wasn't really, really done.
Right.
So that argument to me didn't float. That it was like, oh, he was given a choice and to save some face. I'm like, I don't mind a little egg on my face if it means $10 million more in my pocket.
I would gladly take that.
Yeah, I'd be embarrassed all day long.
Right.
For that. So yeah, so I thought maybe they were like, well, we don't have to fire this guy yet. Let's hire a new GM and he can decide what he wants to do. And that made a little sense to me, but then they fired him anyway, so screw it.
Yeah. Well, we're both out there looking for new coaches.
So then last night, your team disappointed.
Oof.
Your college team.
Jesus, that was a disappointment.
It was a hell of it became a hell of a game. For 3 quarters, it was really kind of like a
It was a bad game. It was bad.
Well, I wouldn't say it was bad. It was a hell of a defensive battle, and if you're into that, I'm sure. But when you are watching college football, you really want the fireworks. You want the offensive. Right. You want the shootouts and the whatever. And we thought we were going to get that, and we sort of got it really at the tail end. But for a solid 3 quarters of football, it was just like field goal city.
Right.
And yeah, anyone who took the under was sure to win their bet. But your boys didn't come through. I thought at one point, what was it, like late in the third, early in the fourth, when Georgia turned the ball over deep in their own end zone or deep in their side of the field.
Right.
I thought that was it. I thought Alabama was going to get the quick score, take the lead, and kind of do what they do, which is put their foot on your neck and not let up. But Georgia, man, that kid was manifest destiny, the quarterback.
Well, I think 2 things. Let's not forget Alabama had 200 catch receivers out.
Yeah.
So let's just get that out of the way.
Hold on a second though. But in Alabama, the next man up is starting on any other team in college.
Right. But those freshmen did not come through. They dropped a lot of easy passes.
Whatever.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying
I think Georgia's defense is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that was next level stuff.
Now here's the thing: they lose pretty much everyone this year. They're all going to the pros. They got a lot of guys that are going to go pro this year. So it's like they're going to be depleted. I'm sure they got a great backup, but
that's okay. Defense, I mean, they won a championship. It's not like you're in these leagues. You're not supposed to win every year. It started to happen with some of these teams. But you're really not supposed to win every year. And like in college, the turnover, how many kids play more than 3 years on the team anyways, let alone.
Right. Now Georgia, I think, starts off next season with Oregon, first game of the year, which is interesting.
Well, Oregon's going to be, I feel like it's sort of a rebuild thing for them.
Yeah, I think so too. But, it's a big high-profile game.
Because the Canes took their coach, so. And probably a couple players are going to come over through the portal. From there.
Right.
Speaking of portal, someone told me 8 Alabama kids registered for the portal today.
Oh, I'm sure they did. A lot of those guys who are 5-star players, they may never see the field because they have 3 5-star players in front of them.
Yeah, so. I think it was Adam that sent me the thing. I said, yeah, guys want to go. Guys know they can start somewhere else or sit here and maybe senior year, win the starting job.
Well, Cincinnati's running back came from Alabama because he was like 4th on the depth chart, but he's like a 5-star running back. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I want to play, so he went to Cincinnati.
Right.
But this double cheeseburger, by the way, is phenomenal. I just have to tell you that. I haven't eaten today.
Yeah.
It's
McDonald's. It really must be that you haven't eaten all day because
I haven't eaten all day. No,
because it's fucking McDonald's. Let's not get crazy here.
Right. It's nice, it's hot, it's fresh, but I haven't eaten all day, and I'm really starving.
Yeah. What's funny was last I was watching that Alabama game, and it even came through. I think you were talking to me about it while we were watching it. it was like you're kind of like at the point where we win so many. Like if we lose one or
Right.
two, well, you know, like
Right.
it's
Yeah,
not life
it's
or
true.
death for like Patriots fans or Alabama fans. They go to
Yep.
the they go to the championship so much that it's like, okay, so we lost this one. Where
Right.
most schools, it would be like, oh my God, we finally got here after 40 years, like Georgia.
Right.
You know, could you
Right.
imagine
Right.
get?
Yeah.
It took 40 years to get there since the last time you were there, and you lose. It's like, oh no,
Yeah.
we suck again. Is it going to be another 40 years? You know, but with
Right. And
Alabama,
yeah, with Alabama,
and
you're
then it's
like,
like,
yeah. I
all
mean,
right, next year,
yeah.
then the year after, we'll, you know. Uh,
Right. Right. There's always right. It's
now,
not. It's not that track. 18 championships later, we're
right,
okay.
right, right. I listen.
Yeah.
I hesitate to say this because Nick Saban is enemy
You
number
hate him.
one, like
Right.
fucking enemy number one down here in South Florida because he was a liar and a sneak. He lied to
Right.
the entire fan base, the owner, everyone, saying I'm not going to Alabama. I'm the Miami Dolphins head coach, and then basically kind of just snuck off in the middle of the night and went to Alabama. Now it was
But he
obviously
went to get milk and never came back.
right, yeah. Uh, he obviously was the right decision because whatever, 48 championships later or whatever he has, he's like, I mean, that guy is the unofficial. What when you say he's like the unofficial like emperor of Alabama, like I don't
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like Donald Trump says he could shoot a man in the middle of Park Avenue and
Yeah.
get away
Right.
with it. But Nick Saban, in the middle of that Alabama campus, could execute one of his players, and nobody would blink twice. You know, it'd be
No
like
one would say shit.
nobody would say shit.
Right.
He's the king of Alabama, which you know, I mean, it's still Alabama. It's like you know, big. It's still small pot
Right.
shit, but that's a big program there. So I will say this: I begrudgingly can accept the fact that he is the greatest college coach of all time. I mean,
Right.
it's proven. So I can hate a man and still give him his fucking flowers. So
Yeah.
I will say that, and I also say that he seems to have like kind of mellowed out and been a little. Maybe it was because this game he lost to like his best and most loyal assistant coach, who went on to
Mhm.
do great things, and he's kind of like in a devastating loss. There's a certain amount of pride in what he created and that this is like you know like an extension of me as well. So if I'm going to lose to anyone,
Right.
this is the most palatable thing. And then I saw like the kids were getting interviewed and Saban was sitting between them and they were getting up to leave and he had them sit back down and he did this. I mean, it was really kind of like like what a good coach would do. He was like, these guys are incredible. There's no blame on them. You know, it just wasn't our night, et cetera, et cetera. You know, to make the kids feel better and to do it in front
Super.
of
Yeah. Right.
all
Super classy move.
all the cameras and whatever else. I mean, Nick Saban was a class act the entire game, in a defeat, with his kids, all of that stuff. The problem is that I also know the other Nick Saban, where when he was with the Dolphins, he like maybe he
Yeah, but the Dolphins can make anyone miserable.
no. He was a piece of shit. Like you hear all these like the radio guys down here talking about having to deal with Saban's like number 2 guy who ran around the office making sure people didn't make eye contact with Nick or didn't speak to Nick if Nick wasn't speaking to them. Like kind of like one of these little tyrannical things that it's like you would bring from college with you because in college you coach out of fear and they have to do what you say because you hold their whole future in their hands. Where like in the pros, everyone's a millionaire and everyone's a professional, and you can't operate that way. Now, I'm not saying he acted that way with the players, but in a
Right.
office full of executives and assistants and people that help the organization chug along, you can't treat people like that. You can't. And again, he was very smart. He was one removed. It was very mafioso, where he wasn't the one berating people for looking him in the
Right.
eye. It was his little trigger man. But I mean, the man was operating under under instruction. I mean, he wasn't running around there unchecked, and then Nick found out about it and said, "Oh no, this
But
is no." He was
right.
allowing it. He was encouraging
But
it.
I'll tell you this: like, if you watch Saban over the years, because he does seem like he could be an asshole. But I watched like the last couple of years, some of the behind the scenes stuff. He's almost like he's lightened up a little bit,
Well,
and
it happens.
maybe it's
I
because
mean,
he's winning. Maybe it's because he's going to retire soon. I
well,
don't know what it is,
I
but
think that
you can see it.
he's proven everything. So
Right, right,
there's no pressure. He's not constantly on a hot seat. They will
right.
never fire him. I mean,
No,
they will never ask him to leave. That job's his until he. It's like Joe Paterno. That job's his
right,
until he wants to go. So
right.
maybe all that alleviates a little of the stress and makes you a nicer person. And maybe dealing with kids is some kind of fulfilling thing for him. Like mentoring and having all these
Right.
people in the league that keep in contact with you and you see all your successes. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I still listen. He's still to me a piece of shit. He's a liar.
So
Liar
here's
and a
the
snake.
question.
Yeah,
Here's the question:
yeah.
Nick Saban
Uh huh.
or Adam Gase?
As what?
Who is the worst Dolphins coach?
Oh no, Gase is. Well, I don't think it was even. It might not have even been Gase. It may have been what's his name before Gase?
But out of them two,
Oh,
if you had to choose one,
Gase is a terrible coach. Saban didn't do
and he's a
poorly here.
weirdo.
Saban didn't do poorly here. He made a bad decision when he didn't get Drew Brees when he went for Dante Culpepper.
Right.
That was the mistake that eventually sent him away. Because if he had Brees here and we were winning playoff games and going to Super Bowls, he would have probably stayed here a decade. But
Right.
yeah, he made a bad call and it accelerated him leaving. Gase wasn't a good coach. I mean, I can at least say Saban's
it
a
was
good.
weird.
I would say
weirdo.
Saban's a good coach. I just think he was a piece of shit because he left us, and the way he handled
Right.
it. Even like, listen, you're entitled to leave, but either honor your contract and leave after, or do it where you're not lying to everyone's face for 3 weeks.
Right.
Like he literally was like press conferences, meetings with the boss, out and about in town. Anyone whose eye he could look into and lie to during that 3 weeks, he was doing it.
Yeah.
So that's it's not like he's protecting spoilers on a movie here.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
so your team lost, but like I said, like it didn't even feel like you were really wrapped up in the game. Like you're like, okay, if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. Which is like a very spoiled attitude to have.
it is though, but it's the truth.
But it's nice.
It's the truth.
It's nice to have it. But on the other hand, anyone that was rooting for Alabama to lose because they're just trying to rib you, the rib's on them because of where you live and your work. I think aren't you getting a bonus because you're selling?
Well, I mean,
you're selling
yeah,
more.
I mean,
More Georgia
right.
merchandise. So it's like you lose. It's like you win, you win. You lose, you still win. You still won.
I still won.
Right.
I won last night. For
Right.
Sure, yeah.
You
Right.
like if you had to choose, maybe you would have even rooted for Georgia to win this game because it's like Alabama winning doesn't really get you payday.
Well, no. So the funny part is that at work everybody is just you got your my business partner, what we call him, he's a Michigan fan. So for him, he was the same way 2 weeks ago because he's like, look, I'm a Michigan fan. God, I want Michigan to go to the national championship, but Georgia's going to make me and you money, pal. I was like, oh, I know it is. So so there's that little bit of like, look, if there's 1 year we have to give up the title, let it just be this year
Right, because
that's
it'll
money
pay
in
off.
the bank.
Right, it'll pay off.
Right.
So
Right,
the rib's on everyone else because it's like anyone that was like
totally is.
trying to like give you the business about Alabama losing. It's like, well, okay, yeah, but it's bonus time, baby.
So like last night I had to go to work because we opened for the after the game to sell the merchandise and people were like razzing me like, oh, roll tide. I was like, guys, like I'm winning here. I'm winning. Like I'm winning either way. So I'm actually winning more this way than I would be if Alabama actually won.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's not that big
You
of
were
a
saying
deal.
the place was slammed too, right?
It's just very busy. Just people love the Georgia's fan base for all sports is pretty good. Even for the Falcons, as shitty as they are, people are hanging in there. The Falcons games are still packed.
Yeah.
People are hanging in there. They're not happy with the team. They're not happy with Matt Ryan and you know that, but it's just that they support the team. The soccer team here, I don't even watch soccer like that, and everybody's like, you got to go to a soccer game. The support from the city is insane. I'm like, really? It's like, yeah, when they won the championship a couple of years ago, it was like a huge deal. I was like, Georgia, Atlanta fans especially, they're pretty good fans. They're not a bad fan base. So it's pretty cool because I got to experience the Braves and Georgia this year, winning championships, living in this town. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool for sure. I think I think back like Marlins winning the World Series. Obviously we got to live through that, a couple times, which was cool. But even so, the Marlins, they can go a whole season drawing nobody, and they get in the playoffs, and then obviously they start packing the house because
Yeah.
Miami fans are fair weather.
The Heat's a little better.
The Heat have good fans, yeah. So they do, and even still now, I mean, the Heat people go to the Heat game. We got to live through the Panthers. They went to the Stanley Cup, right? 1996, was it?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, but that was cool. I mean, it's cool to see the
That's when
Panthers, and they made the playoffs.
they were throwing the rats on the ice.
Rats on the ice. Now I have some of those. I have some of the rats from the games.
Yeah. What were they?
I kept some.
Were they plush or were they like rubber?
They were rubber. They
Oh.
were rubber. Yeah, they're pretty heavy. Some like if someone threw one and you got clocked in the head, you'd be in some pain.
Yeah.
Like it would hurt for sure. So yeah, I mean those things, and I love hockey. So I tell everybody best sport to watch live is hockey. It's better than football live. Do you think or no? Do you not agree
I
with
mean,
me?
yeah, because football's a lot of start stop.
Right.
So without
But you know why else
without
it's better, right?
without the commentary and the replays and everything
Right.
else, it's really you feel the start stop a lot more, and you're kind of further back, so it's harder to see everybody
Right.
and what's going on.
Agree. Hockey's you're really it's more intimate. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But
And
you know what the best part about hockey is?
well, it's air conditioned.
It's air conditioned.
Yeah. Yeah, you go to
You're sitting in a cold arena.
dude, you go to a Dolphins game at the end of September, and you're on the visitors' side. You are going to get cooked for 3 hours.
You're melting.
You are going
Right.
to absolutely. You're going to get home, and you're going to be bright red for 4 days, and you're going to have these weird tan lines, and
Yep.
and because you're sitting in those seats, it's going to what gets sunburned the worst are your fucking shins. That never, because usually when you're out in the sun, those are kind of covered by the shade of your own body. But when you're sitting facing the sun in those seats, those shins, your knees and shins get cooked. So yeah,
I went to a Dolphins Packers game once, and I got more sunburn than if I went to the beach.
Yeah. Because you're like, it's like because you're not moving around. You're stuck right at you're
Right.
You're not going in the water. You're not getting in shade. You're sitting in a chair in the sun. Especially like I said, especially if you're on the visitor side. I always think of, when we start talking about going to a Dolphins game, I always think about, remember the absolute stink Jackie made when Jim Winters took that picture of him and Jessica sitting in the stands watching the game, and like it was a very unflattering picture of both of them, because you're like, it's like it'd be like you and me now, two fat fucks sitting in the sun, sweat, like we're just two fucking 10-gallon piles of fucking melting ice cream is what they looked like. He was mad. He was mad because Jessica was upset, and then Jessica was all upset about it being on the fucking Facebook. And yeah, and I can understand a girl being upset when there's an unflattering picture of them up there and all they can do is untag themselves, but it's still out there. I get it, but
Right.
whatever. It's like I've never worried about an unflattering picture of myself, but I'm not a girl either. So, yeah,
Right.
Jackie went on a tirade with him. And Jim was like, "Fuck you! It's a great picture. It's staying up." He's like, "I'm gonna enter it in a contest and all this other," and was just pushing every fucking button with Jackie. That may have resulted in an unfriending from Jackie. To tell you the truth, he may have unfriended Jim that day. I think they did, and like for 2 years or 2.5 years, he didn't talk to Jim, and then we went to the Dade County Fair the night that. Not NXT, but FCW, the predecessor NXT,
Right.
was there, and Jim just happened to be there and bumped into them, and him and Jackie kind of made peace and hugged it out, and Jessica still wanted nothing to do with him, was still all mad about it 2 years later.
That's great.
Uh, I think she was even
Wow.
like even at the whatever, the funeral, the remembrance or whatever we did that day. I know Jim showed up. I don't know if she at least for the sake of the day, at least was nice to him. But I know he was there. So
Yeah. No, I remember that he was pretty pissed at that. Speaking of, this is actually, it's funny because I was reading. Good segue here because it kind of reminds me of you and Jackie maybe a little bit.
oh,
So I see CM Punk
tumultuous.
is on a Twitter rampage about people meeting him in an airport asking for an autograph, and he's like, "That shit needs to be cut out. We're still in a pandemic." So he's very upset that people in an airport are approaching him for an autograph, and because we're in a pandemic. And someone posted a video of him jumping into the crowd and said, "This you?" And he went on this whole rant on calling the guy a cunt, and whoever the guy is a verified guy. And he went on this rant of calling this guy all kinds of names, that everybody was vaccinated, and he's like, the guy's like, "Yeah, you jumped into a crowd with no mask on, like, and you're worried about people getting autographs. Like, maybe you're just a dick."
Yeah, no, he's okay. He is absolutely just being him. He used the pandemic as an excuse to be to be like, I hate taking pictures and signing autographs. Trust me,
Right.
the whole time he was in WWE, when me and Jackie were still going to WrestleManias for
Right.
like fucking 8 years in a row or whatever it was. I was lucky enough that every time I think 3 times I bumped in a Punk. And I wasn't an autograph guy at that point. I was just like, if I bump into people, take some pictures. It's vacation. It's fun, whatever.
Yeah.
Every single time he took a picture with me. He never looked thrilled to do it, but he never put up a fight with it. But I always laugh because I like you hear the thousands of stories from people of what a dick he is. He doesn't want to take pictures, whatever. I'm like, and I always laugh and go, that's funny because all 3 times I ran into the guy, he took a picture with me. But it may be also the fact that we were in like the WWE hotel, and that a couple of those years they would rent out the entire hotel. So if you were in there, it was because you were either working for the company or you were friends and family or something. So when you get people in a basically fully booked hotel, or at the after party, which is like you need a wristband and everything, it's even more like confirm that it's friends and family, that you're more willing to like indulge in those things than if I never got him at an airport. Fuck that. I would know better. He's too much of a curmudgeon to ever want to.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he was like, like last episode, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah. He's that whole thing was just an excuse to kind of like publicly tell people, don't ask me to stop at an airport and give you the time of day.
I think it's kind of pretty shitty if you ask me.
It is, especially if you're being a babyface right now.
Right.
Like if you're a heel, perfect. Tell everyone to go fuck themselves. It's your gimmick anyways. But if you're being a babyface on camera, I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, don't tell me you're afraid of cooties at this point. Like the guy said, is this you? You know. And yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I love how I
Right.
like how when you were telling that it's like he gets called out, and that's when he really starts to get abusive. When
Well,
you're
yeah, I mean, the guy literally was like, "This you," and he's jumping in the crowd. And then he's like, then he starts to get angry, and he's
right,
making up all these excuses, and
right,
oh,
it's like, brother, you dug the hole. Just fucking pull the dirt in over yourself. Don't dig it deeper.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but and he always looked like it. So I don't know if I don't know if I ever told the story. So I was on a show with him back in pre WWE days, CM Punk.
Like
He was there
MLW
with Colt
days.
Cabana. This was actually FIP. I had worked Vordell Walker that night, but Punk was there. He got there, took a whole bunch of chairs, like from the locker room that other guys were going to be sitting in, took them all for himself. He did a total Siazzo treatment for himself, sets up like a boundary, goes into this dark corner, and literally speaks to no one. Like, doesn't want to talk to anybody, doesn't shake hands, doesn't, like, he's a total, you can just tell, he's a total fucking prick.
Yeah.
And it's the same night I know Billy told this story where he like wanted to had somebody ask Billy to give him a ride, and Billy's like, well, like Billy's like, I don't give a fuck who you are, like I'm not giving you a ride anywhere.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna ask me yourself,
Right.
you're
Right.
not gonna be a
Right.
man about it. But yeah, he was just totally like just standoffish.
Oh, was it? Did he
with
tell us
everyone.
that at La Tub?
Or did he tell on the podcast?
I don't remember him telling on the podcast, but maybe he did.
I don't remember. He was standoffish to Billy Fives, which nobody's standoffish to Billy Fives. So he was yeah, but he was like he was a prick, and like my first time I ever met him, and I was like, and I didn't really meet him because he didn't introduce himself to anybody, but I was like, this guy's a fucking prick. Like, who does that? And especially in the wrestling business, it doesn't matter who you are. I've worked with some pretty big legends who shook my hand, introduced themselves and hung with the boys and acted like they were part of the show.
Right.
So to see, just Punk was just a dick. He was a dick. Like, it's like, sitting in a dark corner being a dick.
Well, apparently nothing's
So,
changed. You would think
right,
absence makes the heart grow fonder, and him being away from the
right,
business for a few years maybe had a little retrospective look and was like, oh, I could be nicer. But it doesn't sound like
right.
it from Twitter. It doesn't sound like it.
So, speaking of pricks,
Uh-huh.
no, not Blake. I was on my TikTok and a video comes up and it's Vito LaGrasso, Big Vito.
Oh God, I
who
hate that guy.
he's blocked me from every platform. I'm blocked on everything. And I said, that's weird. I can see his video. So I clicked the page and thought maybe he unblocked me. I'm still blocked, but the video came up on my For You page. But I can't see any other videos on this thing. And I was like, oh, he blocked me, but I can still see that video. It's very odd.
That is
But
strange.
I'm still blocked. I'm still blocked.
I thought you were gonna say it was his like wife's account or something.
No. He's blocked me. He blocked me because when I was wrestling, when we were Slambinos, and I don't know if you may not even know this story. He had gone behind my back when we were supposed to do this WGN America. He wasn't part of it. Howard chose me and Francisco Ciazzo and Disco Inferno, good friend of Ben Temple's, and he had picked us to do the Slambinos, and Vito wanted in on it because it was national television. Vito called Howard and tried to bury me. He didn't bury Glenn, and he didn't bury Frankie. He buried me and said, oh, he's awful. He'll never be a part of this. People won't, this, that, the other. Howard calls and tells me.
Of course.
I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I said, oh, fuck that motherfucker. We went at it. He blocked me on everything because Vito gave me an ultimatum of, if I'm not in this and you do it, like, you're dead to me. And I'm like, how you gonna give me that ultimatum, dude? That's pretty fucking ridiculous. I have an opportunity to be on TV, in 81 million homes.
Right. You want me to put my
right.
put my success on the line to make sure.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'm not giving.
Because you're not a part of it.
Like you're not giving Howard the ultimatum. It's like, if you don't use Vito, I'm not working. That's fucking ridiculous.
Right. And I would have never said that.
Because you know what? As someone who's you've booked shows, I've booked shows. When someone comes to you and says that, it's a blessing because now you've given me 2 people I don't have to use. 2 people I don't have to pay, 2 people I don't have to fucking worry about. It's like, okay, if I don't use him, you're not going to come? Sounds good to me. Every time I would do that. Because I'm always, it's always like, there's always somebody that wants a spot that I don't have room for. So there it is. There's room for someone else now. That's insane. Yeah.
Right.
It's funny. I liked Vito, but he really fucked up. He fucked up with me, and I was like, fuck it, and I just blocked the shit out of him everywhere. Right. And like, I think I did see him pop up on TikTok, and I immediately blocked him because I was like, I just don't want to see his bullshit.
Yeah.
Didn't Blake pull up an old thing the other day where Jackie made a joke about like the lawsuit or something, and Vito saw it and made a comment. It was like, it's like you don't know anything about it. You're a great fan. He used to always say that when he would like to try and shit on someone, be like, you're a great fan, but he always spelled "you're" wrong, which made it which like took half the sting out of the insult because it's like when something's misspelled, it always fucking takes, or the grammar's wrong. It always takes the real punch out of it for some reason. Maybe it's because it's like, oh, this guy's a dummy. I don't have to worry about him saying anything. So, yeah, it's funny.
So it's funny they're talking about him in the middle of this conversation. JoJo just sends me a TikTok that I can't see because I'm blocked.
Mm-hmm.
It's Vito, so he screenshots it and sends it to me. Vito is making a push to be in the Royal Rumble for the company that he just tried to sue for all that kind of money, and put them through a legal battle for years. Now he's trying to get in the Royal Rumble. Like, what you fucking out of your mind?
Right.
Like, you gotta be out of your mind, But anyway, we're done talking about him. He's got enough airtime.
It was funny.
That guy.
I was thinking about. We were talking about old WrestleManias and stuff a little while ago, and it reminded me that I only reminded me because I was thinking about it earlier today. I saw Luke post a video of the first time he met, or maybe it was it was the first, the last, or every time he met a Bob Saget. And me and Jackie were at that thing. And I think that was the first time I met Luke. It was either Houston WrestleMania or the Arizona one. They were back-to-back years. And there was a Dragon's Gate show. And at that Dragon's Gate show, I guess Luke was at it. I think Daniel Bryan and Tyler Black and those guys were at it. But Bob Saget was filming some show called Strange Days, and this episode was about wrestling or something. So it was funny. I just remember, I think me and Jackie talked to Luke out back after the show, but we were trying to accidentally bump into Bob Saget to get a photo or something, but we never. He was kind of like, because it was a TV production, he was kind of like sequestered away when he wasn't out there filming stuff or whatever.
Right.
But I don't remember the show at all. I don't remember anything that happened on the show. I don't have a memory for that. Jackie does or did.
Right.
But I think Saget did something in the ring. I don't think he took a bump.
He did.
But
no, he didn't.
Oh, you remember this thing?
I do. Yeah. He didn't. He did he got into it with Moxley.
He was at the show too. Yeah, okay.
And then he got into it with Moxley, but then somebody attacked Moxley, and he kind of backed out of the ring, but he was still talking on the mic, being funny as he backed out of the ring. And he kind of got out, and then the match started. Yeah, it was weird.
That's funny. It's funny that you remember that. It's funnier that I was at it, and I have zero recollection of it at all. I have a photo. I think we bumped into all of them earlier that day at like Five Guys or some local burger place. I don't know what it was. And it was so it's a photo that we took outside afterwards. It's like me, It's Daniel Bryan. It's Seth Rollins. It's I guess it was Moxley and like Jimmy
Yeah,
Jacobs, and it was like all of them,
probably. Yeah,
all of
sounds
them
right.
way before WWE.
Right.
I guess they were in Ring of Honor or Dragon's Gate or something, but they were all in town, and some of them were at that show that night. I think that's where I fucking met the Bucks for the first time too, or first and only
The
time.
who?
The Bucks. They were like,
Oh,
they
yeah,
look like children in the photo.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Those shows were pretty. I mean, those shows had some pretty big star power on them back
yeah,
then for indie wrestling shows. All those guys are famous now,
yeah.
So,
I do recall that I don't remember that the show was like packed or anything when we were at
well,
it.
probably not because Dragons Gate never drew anybody.
Yeah, and something like everyone thinks that everything's going to sell out WrestleMania
Right,
weekend, but a lot of stuff doesn't. They just take
right.
for granted that if you build it, they will come, and a lot of people don't end up marketing their event. You know?
JB Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
JB
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. He was going to run like what did he have like 20 shows scheduled that weekend? I think
Running like one.
I think combined there was supposed to be like 20 shows. He probably only ran 10,
Right,
and he probably combined had about 50 people attend them.
right. Yeah. So I did see that Ring of Honor is running WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah,
I thought they were out of business.
they have no one under contract apparently, and
But they're doing something with Impact.
I don't watch I don't watch
Impact.
no I don't watch Ring of Honor on TV. I mean, I
Yeah.
see it's on every Friday, but I don't know what they're showing. If it's old stuff, best ofs,
Yeah,
whatever,
No idea.
no
Right.
idea.
No
But
idea.
they're not filming new shows, and I don't know if they're just licensing the Ring of Honor name and the belt to do this invasion story, or are these guys under Ring of
Right.
Honor contract? Did they sign guys to do this, and is Ring of Honor paying them, or is this all Impact? You know what
I
I
have
mean?
no idea. Yeah. Right. Right. But I started doing WrestleMania weekend, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
But
weird. It's weird. I because no one's under contract, so
right.
were they just gonna book a show and just see who's
Well,
available?
I mean,
You know what I
maybe.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Could be. Could be. Or they're doing something with Impact and Impact paying for everything. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
So
weird. I don't. I
yeah.
didn't. I.
Well, this
I.
was a wrestling and football podcast.
I didn't.
There was nothing else.
Yeah, but I didn't think like Impact had that kind of money to be like just
Uh,
doing all
I don't
this.
even know who owns Impact.
I think it's.
So,
I think it's the. I think it's network owned, isn't it?
listen, I'm still, in my mind, Dixie Carter owns it still
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a shame.
so,
It's a shame Billy Corgan didn't get a shot
yeah. Well,
because
he's doing NWA.
Yeah, I every now and then I catch a thing on TikTok or something from NWA, and I'm like, oof, this is.
Yeah, it does not look good.
There's nothing there that makes me want to go fucking watch more, you know. And I'm actually a fan of a couple of people that are on.
Right, me too. Right.
But yeah, well, not Luke anymore. Luke's gone to Australia. But you
Right.
know, and what's her name's the champ? I don't know if she's still a champion, but what's her name? The girl that used to play in the Lingerie Football League. What's her name? Brickhouse.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
she's
Brickhouse,
impressive, but you know, I've never seen a clip that has made me want to go watch a show, which is not good.
No, right. Same with me. It's not. I mean, it just doesn't catch my interest.
They call the guy over to the desk to cut a promo, and whoever the guy is, he's just fucking dreadful. And I'm like, oh my god, like what are we doing?
Right.
What are you guys doing? This is worse than a post Bobby Rogers FOW show.
It's so funny. Well, I can go to bed though tonight. Now I finally got the birthday message I was waiting for.
Am I supposed to guess who this is from?
Take a guess.
Is it Billy calling you fat?
That was this morning.
uh,
Billy not only called me fat in a birthday post, he also texted me and told me I was fat.
yeah.
So
I'm saving. I almost sent it to you for your birthday as well, but I figure I'll save it for Father's Day. I have a photo of a cake that used to say Happy Father's Day on it, but it was cut in the quarters, and there's only a quarter of the cake left, and it just says "Ha fat."
yeah. Wow.
So I've been
Well,
saving that for you until Father's Day. This is how
that's
long
dedication.
this is how long some of my ribs go.
Dedication.
Let me guess here. Somebody that would that's a
And oh, here. This is what makes it better. It's not. It's a private message.
Is it from Steve Carino?
No.
Oh,
No.
I don't know. Sometimes you get
He's a text guy.
sometimes you get a hey champ out of the blue.
He texts me though. He texts. This is a Facebook Messenger.
I mean,
You may never get it.
is this an inside one like it's Seth Gregg or something?
No. I gotta tell you. All right, I'll read you the message and you tell me who it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Another happy birthday, champ. Hope you had a blast today.
That doesn't narrow it down at all. Champ.
Another happy birthday, champ.
Bruce.
Yes! My man! You got it right.
Yeah. Bruce calls people champ. He calls Marco champ all the time also. So
Last year, happy birthday, Tommy Vandal. It was almost the same time as this year.
it's like this is like when he finally wakes up and he checks Facebook for the first time and there's the birthday alerts.
Right.
I'm glad
Good old Brucey.
Hey man, give me some. I want some accolades here. I want some credit. I think I got that one without really digging too deep.
You know, though, I knew you were gonna get it.
Why?
I knew you would get that. I knew you would. I don't know why. I knew you would get that.
Because I'm attentive, and I know that he like I know that he would call you champ. Like I'm trying to think who else would call you champ, and I'm like, well, I had already guessed
back in our messages.
I'd already guessed Carino.
Happy Thanksgiving, champ too.
Yeah,
like happy Thanksgiving, champ, and happy Merry Christmas, champ.
Yeah, I've seen him do that with it. So I see my powers of observation are still sharp. Like if it was like I thought, like for a second I thought maybe it would be Jensen, but that would be Chief, not Champ. No.
Jensen did. I did get the happy birthday from her this morning as well. It was a like platypus on a stripper pole, and it said, "It's your birthday, enjoy." She said, "Oh, it's a chicken." She said, "That came up when I searched chicken strips." I don't even know what she was searching, but that's what came up. And it's a chicken on a stripper pole. So,
but why would she be searching chicken strips for you for your birthday? Just because you're fat? It's not like you're like a notorious. Not like you talk about eating chicken strips all the time.
So the context before, she did send me a happy birthday first this morning with a guy with a cake on his head and he's dancing. Then she asked me if I was doing anything special, and I said that I was currently walking the food court at the mall because I was working. And she said, "Get Chick-fil-A." She said, "Chick-fil-A's calling." I said, "I hate Chick-fil-A," and then she sent me the chicken strippers. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know. Yeah. I don't know where this went. Yeah, I have no idea.
It makes sense now. I was like, why would someone search for chicken strips for your birthday? But yeah. All right. That's good.
So anyway, I just sent you the stripper on a pole. That's a chicken strip.
Yeah, I may never look at it. Now that you've told me about it, there's no reason to look at it.
You gotta see it. It's a gift. It's dancing. It's dancing.
Oh, I got you. Anyway, All
right. I'm done with you.
Got nothing else? You got another double cheeseburger to kill?
No, I ate both of those, and I honestly, this is how stealth I am today. I ate both double cheeseburgers while we did the podcast, and heated up a plate of pasta with sausage.
Listen, there was
like 2 nights ago.
There was nothing stealth about it. I'll tell you that for sure.
Stealth.
I heard you eating those burgers.
Yeah, but you didn't know I heated up a whole plate of pasta.
I can hear you eating it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got this lingering COVID whatever cough, so I'm gonna go
Oh,
before I.
good. Good for you. Good
Hey,
for you. All right.
good for you. Good.
Cool. All right.
You know what? I hope another sports team loses for you tomorrow. Let's keep the week going. Fucking, what do you
Keep the
got? The
week
Knicks or
going.
something you can root for? Who am I?
Yeah, that's next.
Who should I fucking piss on?
That's the next disappointment.
Well, the Knicks or
Yeah.
Nick? I mean, take your pick.
Both. No, because he's pissing me off tonight too. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
did did he ever return to his shower, or is he scarred for life?
Oh no, he got the return. He got the return to the shower, and uh, in a miraculous, like it must have been like a Christmas miracle. He cleaned his toilet all by himself, like a big 17-year-old boy.
Oh,
So
he must
I
have.
was like, "Who cleaned the toilet?" I thought Lex did it. I'm like, "You clean his toilet?" She's like, "Why would I clean his toilet?"
Right.
I was like, "You cleaned your toilet?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You even know how?" I was like, "How did you even do that without even asking?" Like, maybe he like Googled it. I don't know, but he cleaned his toilet.
There's a YouTube video for everything. He got
Right.
tired of looking
So
at your artwork in there.
that was him.
Oh,
So
all right.
yeah.
Well,
So all right, I'm gonna go eat this pasta.
yeah. I of course you are.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye, Fatso. Happy birthday.